Mr. Junaid Ahmed, Country Director of the World Bank, is also with us.
Yeah, sir, this is Amitabh Bachchan. I just wanted to know, in your experience, how much of a role does the general health of a country and its population, its environment play on how prosperous a nation can be? Because this is what the main aim of today's program is.
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt that the lesson we have learned today is that economic growth, if it does not take into account health, the human capital, as well as the environment, it's not an economic growth that can either be sustainable or whether it can actually lead to welfare increases. Look at the challenges India faces, air pollution. So you can get a 7% growth rate going, but if you have air pollution associated with that growth, ultimately, what's the welfare of people? Or to take another example, you have 7% economic growth, but sanitation is not available. Swasth Bharat addressed that directly, that unless you're able to deal with open defecation along with economic growth, then the benefits of economic growth really don't translate into the well-being of citizens, and in particular, the poorer parts of society. So today, economic growth divorced from understanding of its impact on health and its impact on environment is not something that we can afford to do. Today, growth must be linked into the welfare, which is both linked into human capital as well as environment.
One question to Junaid Ahmed. You know, these last 2 years have been really difficult, really challenging. And you've watched it, you've been in India, you've seen the strengths and weaknesses. Give us 3 factors that we in India need to learn from the past and implement in the next few months and the next year. 3 factors that we must learn and implement.
I think the world and India have discovered through the COVID crisis that we must pivot back into public health. There's been a lot of emphasis on preventive health. Like we want to see a doctor will give us 2 tablets or an injection and we'll be fine. What we now discover is that unless we go into preventive measures, into public health, nations will not be able to address the challenge of public health. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons we have learned. So how do you rediscover and reimagine public health is really the name of the game. And public health has many, many components to it. For example, to begin with, India has the world's largest frontline workers, Anganwadi workers, self-help groups working, ASHA workers. This group engaging with communities in preventive health is really the future of India. So Poshan Abhiyan, which is the world's largest nutrition program that India has triggered, it can only work if there's that interface between communities and these frontline workers about rethinking what to eat, how to take care of the child. In particular, how do you deal with the health of the young mother, becoming a mother, young mother during the pregnancy and the first 1,000 days, right? That is crucial for not only the human capital of a nation like India, but also just simply the health of communities. And that's only one example. Swasth Bharat, of course, remains the biggest example. But I think for me, the storyline that came out of COVID was that India needs to strengthen its public health at the 3rd tier, meaning at the panchayat level and at the city level. Today, when we talk about unlocking India, we're really talking about unlocking urban India. And urban India, the cities and towns of India, do not have the type of public health services that India needs. And I think that's probably the biggest lesson that we have learned out of COVID-19 crisis.
Right.